Welcome back to the Young Entrepreneurs Podcast, episode 4. This episode we've got Jack Dilloway. So if you want to introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, I'm Jack Dilloway from Tamworth. I don't know what else to say.
You're a kickboxer.
Okay, yeah, you want me to go proper into detail?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So Jack Dilloway, I'm a 3-time World Champion Kickboxer from Tamworth. The first ever World Champion Kickboxer from Tamworth. I'm now a boxer and I've got my own promotion. I'm now my own gym almost full time, just working on the unit.
Cool. So what age did you start kickboxing?
I've started it since I was allowed. 4 years old I started. So I've been going, I'm 22 now actually, it was my birthday Saturday. So 18 years I've been going.
Nice. So going into your first fight, like how old were you? What was your nerves like? How was you feeling going into that? Because I know myself, my nerves would be going through the roof.
So I started into clubs and stuff when I was about 6, sort of like little, like no contests, scored back, like unscored bouts. My first proper fight, I was 8. I went to go and watch some of the lads fighting. Someone pulled out. They said, "Do you want to step in against this 12-year-old 2-3 stone heavier?" And fuck it, and I swear.
Yeah.
I said, "Fuck it, I'll jump in." He was a big bass. I lost the fight. Obviously, it was just on like a little mat and stuff. But yeah, that's my first fight. 8 years old, stepped in on about 20 minutes notice against a geezer about double the size.
That's actually nuts.
That's how I got the name Bruiser.
So is that actually where it come from? Yeah.
Yeah, because I was a little fat kid. Like I was a proper little fat kid. I was walking around at about 65, 70 kg at like 11, 12 years old. So all my weight categories were against like 17, 18-year-olds.
Yeah, bigger people.
And I never got stopped or anything. I just went at them. Like that's how I got Bruiser from.
To be fair though, throwing the deep end works out a lot, like the best a lot of the time. With a lot of things, isn't it, getting thrown in the deep end?
Yeah.
So going off that, what was your vision growing up then? Because obviously you started really young. You started fighting like people who were like a few years older than you. What was your vision? Did you want to be that world champion, or was it kind of just like, this is a hobby, I'm going to see where it goes?
It was more my dad sort of made me do it when I first started. It wasn't like I wanted to do it. It was more, he said, you have to do something till you're 16. Whatever that is, we'll do. I did kickboxing. I just sort of stuck it until I was about 12, 30, and then I really started to enjoy it a bit later on. There was no vision as a kid. It was just sort of, let's learn how to defend myself. Let's learn how to defend myself. From like the first sort of up to sort of 12 years old, it was just sort of like a hobby to me. Yeah, it was a hobby.
Well, I think it's always good, and like everyone I'd recommend always doing something growing up at least. I was always thrown into like, little bits, so don't get me wrong, I've never done anything major, just done a few years of this, few years of that, growing up as a kid. Purely the fact, I think, because my parents knew I was going to be a smaller lad, at least then I know how to defend myself a bit. And it teaches you discipline, do you know what I mean? Make sure you're there on time or you get punished and stuff like that. It
teaches you so much, like the respect, to keep yourself calm, you know, what altercations I'd stay out of sort of stuff. With my dad, he said, like, he struggled. He was he did judo till he was about 16, and then he quit. And then a couple of years later, he went back and fought someone who was in like the Commonwealth Games stuff and beat him. And he said, I should have just stuck to it. So he said, that's my rule as a kid. I have to stick to something till I was 16.
Yeah, I think it's the best thing. It like I said, teach you discipline, not just within your life, but then like going into like work-wise, or if you want to build something, you've kind of had that discipline to go to something every single day or 5 days
when you
a
don't
week,
want
or even if you didn't want to go and you get moaned at, but it teaches you that discipline to then further on in life, I guess.
Definitely, 100%.
So when you went to fight for your first World Championship,
like
how old were you, and that thought must be mental to
so I did the World Opens, like the tournament, when I was 12. I did 3 categories. I won 3 world gold medals. My first world title, because obviously there's a difference between tournament and ring fighting. Ring fighting is like a proper arena, like people are watching. So I worked my way up. I was, not many people do it anymore, but you win your area title, your English title, your British title, your 5 nations, your European, and then you're in for a world. I did that all the way through, and the world champion was a French lad. He was on something like a 10 fight knockout spree or something. Like, he's knocked his last 10 opponents out. He was 22, 23, I was 17. And I got offered it on a big show in Barnsley, the Barnsley Metrodome. It's like 5,000 people. Fuck it, why not? I've not turned down a challenge before. There was a lot of dramas going into the fight. You know, I got kicked out of my club, sort of, for taking the fight.
Really?
Yeah, the gym I was at since I was 4. I've still got a lot of love for the lads who ran it. You know, really nice bloke, still get along with him. There was just a disagreement at the time with what was happening. He didn't think I was ready for the fight, which is, he's a coach, you know. But I was in a momentum. I was on like a 12, 13, 14 win streak.
Felt undefeatable, really, I guess. At that, but I guess you would though, wouldn't you?
If I was going to beat him, it was then.
Yeah.
So I had to take the opportunity, and there was nothing stopping me. If I was going in on my own with no one in the car, I had to take the fight. And it was a good job I did, because I took the fight. He battered me the first round, broke my nose with the first punch. I remember him just throwing a straight. My nose went like that, pissing my blood. I was like, for fuck's sake. This geezer, and but for the first sort of minute or two, it put me off a bit. I was like, I need to keep away from this. I mean, he stopped his last 5 fights first round. I had to keep away, and then luckily I caught him with a beautiful head kick. So I was working on beforehand, because we found out when he's not landing the shots and he's not hurting you and knocking you out, he gets very frustrated and his hands start coming down and stuff. So he was timing him for that later on in the round, and that's what I sort of got him with. 5,000 people in a Metrodome. Couldn't beat it, mate.
I bet that feeling must be unreal. Absolutely unreal.
Obviously, I won 2 world titles after, but that one was the proper one.
Which first one, isn't it, as well?
First one. And I wasn't meant to win. I was meant to get knocked out.
See, they're the best journeys, aren't they?
Yeah,
100%. 100%. So, over your whole career, what moments, I'm guessing that's a major key moment, what other massive key moments you've had?
The main one for me, maybe unexpected to most people, but so when I was going for my black belt, the gym in Tamworth was unbelievable. I was near the bottom of the pecking order for the black belt. There's about 12 of us. I was sort of like mid-table, and there's some real good fighters. And I wasn't really getting a look in fighting-wise. I must be like 4. I think I was 14. And our main lad just lost to a lad called Daniel Wigglesworth from. This is points fighting. Yeah. So it's like first to score sort of stuff. He lost to someone called Daniel Wigglesworth. He was from Liverpool, 6'4", and I wanted to fight him because I just watched him and thought I could beat him. And my coach said no. And then we went to a tournament in Bristol. It's called the Bristol Open. It's the biggest tournament in the UK. I think there's like 180 people that entered. I shouldn't have got past the second round, third round. Suddenly I'm in the 6th round, 7th round. I'm in the semi-final. I've fought a lad from our gym who I've never beat before. I beat him. And then I got to the final against the guy that's won it the last 3 years. And I beat him. And it was sort of like, hang on.
That must be such a good moment, that.
I can live with these. I can compete at this level when I want to. So then, because I won it, he gave me the fight. And I went and beat the Scouser.
The lad who thought that you wouldn't beat.
He was the best in the country, and it was almost like, hang on a second, this is the change that I've been waiting for. Because I didn't win a lot as a kid on the tournaments and stuff. Because I said to you, I was fucking massive. I was fighting big lads. I always stuck it in with them. But that was the sort of changing moment. I thought, hang on, I can really sort of hang with these lads now. And that's where the belief came. Because it was sort of before, it was just, I'll turn up, have a weekend away, not get very far. And then when I hit that point when I won that tournament, it was like, I can really fucking hang with these lads now.
Proper switch in your brain. Because a lot of things in general, mentally, like, it's a mental challenge. If you go in there thinking, or any fight, if you went, oh God, this geezer's going to beat me, surely it's going to knock on effect on what your performance is going to be. If you go in there and go, I'm going to smash his head in.
I'm the best. That was the change. It was because it was just sort of like I was participating, and after that, now I feel the best. I think I'm the best in the country, and at the time I probably wasn't. But because my mentality was I started beating them lads in the gym that I couldn't beat, which was sort of like a change. And then I was beating people in tournaments that I've never beat before, and it just sort of went plateau, boom, and everything just started going into place.
If you put the effort in, like you said, if you start believing in yourself, things start actually becoming possible for you.
And it makes you work more as well, because you can see the progressions, you can see the improvements. All them sessions that I didn't want to go to, I was now dying to go. Yeah. There was a big change in just everything, my lifestyle and everything, yeah.
I can imagine. You said about them, like the getaways and stuff like that. Did you travel much with your kickboxing? I'm guessing you've travelled all over the country, or maybe all over the place in the world.
Yeah. So leading up to the world title fight, my Tamworth gym, TK at the time, they were very known on the tournaments, but they were not known on the ring side as much. Not very. There's a big difference between the tournament fighting and the ring side. But I wanted to get into the ring side, so I was taking fights on other people's shows, anywhere I could. So I was travelling to Kent next week. I was in Brighton next week. I was in Wigan, Lincoln. I think I only fought in Tamworth once. Fought in Walsall twice, and fought in Birmingham once. The other 35 fights were on the other shows. I called myself the winning journeyman because I was the away fighter on every show, but I was winning all the fights at the same time. Yeah. But yeah, every weekend basically. I think I was fighting somewhere like not every weekend, but I was fighting on average one every 3 weeks, which is a lot. Like
yeah, no, I can imagine. It's a lot on your body. That surely.
About 18 fights a year.
So did you leave? Did you go out of the country at any other points or?
Europe. Yeah. I've not had the chance to go to. I've been to Germany, France a couple of times, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. Didn't really go. I had a few fights planned before I moved to boxing, but they didn't go through in the end.
Yeah. So, what was your last kickboxing match then? Because I know before you
last kickboxing. So I turned pro kickboxing. I had 3 pro fights, won all 3 by knockout. The problem was with that is, obviously I've come off with this amateur pedigree that is probably one of the best in the country at the time. Probably it was the best in the country at the time. I've turned over to pro, and everyone kept pulling out. Like I think I was talking to my coach at the time in Walsall, Gav Burrows. We had 10 pull-outs in 3 fights. And
imagine that can be.
Yeah, so the third, you got offered a big fight, and you take it, you're buzzing, you train really hard, he pulls out, they get someone a little bit worse, but it's still an exciting fight. He pulls out, and then suddenly there's someone that's not there, you know what I mean? And it was just draining. It was so draining because every camp since then I was expecting a pull out and not to have. It was messy.
Yeah, but you kind of have like 1 foot in, 1 foot out at that point. When you've had so many people pull out, you think I'm putting all this work in, and I bet someone else is going to pull out.
Yeah.
Surely you got that in the back of your mind constantly.
Because in the amateurs, I think I had 1 pull out in the amateurs. Sort of like 40 fights. I think I had 1 pull out. So then the drastic change from 1 pull out, when you know who you're fighting all the way through, to then pull outs every other week in the same fight. It was a big mental change. Yeah, it was annoying. It really, really got to me. That's why I decided to move over to the boxing.
No, I can imagine. So yeah, I've got on here. So when you swapped over to boxing, what was that change? And so is that one of the reasons, obviously, why? Because everyone was kind of pulling out. And it's
just yeah. I needed a new challenge as well. You know, I've been in the kickboxing at the time 16 years. It's a long time. It's a very long time. I needed to.
Especially at your age as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And I've always been a better boxer than a kickboxer as well. I've always believed. I was always a boxer that could throw a kick on the end. Yeah. I was never a kicker that could just kick around. So I always fancied myself in the boxing. And obviously my first couple of fights, I was in the deep end straight away because I wasn't going to fight any novices leading up into the boxing with the kickboxing background. So I was chucked in against the best lads in the country straight away.
Yeah, you've already got your record, haven't you, to be fair, kickboxing, even though, like you said, you feel that yourself was more of a boxer that could throw a kick. These people you're going to go against, they've already seen you boxing. And there's no point in putting it against someone who's shit, really.
No.
So, go on. So what advice would you give to like other fighters who are coming up?
The main thing is, if you're not having an easy road in the long run, it doesn't matter. Like you see kids that are like fighting kids younger than them, winning everything that's like up to like 15, 16 years old, and then you see the other lads, they're a bit bigger and they're struggling. They're not winning fights, but they're getting stuck in. I mean, there's a lad down at TMA. His name's Freddie. A young lad, very similar to me when I was a kid. I trained him for it. He's tough as a cookie, but he doesn't win any fights at the minute. But he still sticks in there every day, and I can see a lot in him, which I had, because he doesn't get stopped. He doesn't do anything. I can see in like 5-6 years, he'll start picking up wins. For me, it's just stick at it. For me, just stick at whatever you're doing. If you've picked something, stick at it. Give it 5 years. See where you turn up.
we literally said another thing on our last podcast saying about like, consistency. Like it's not just with business or anything; it's your life. Like if that lad, he might not be winning right now, but if he's consistently going to that gym, constantly working as hard as possible, then one day it'll probably get that switch like you did, like you said, and it will just change it all.
I also say don't put too much pressure on yourself, because I have lads at the gym now that if they miss a session, they're stressing out, they're not going to be ready. I mean, don't put that much pressure on yourself where you're physically, mentally like obsessed, if that makes sense. You should be obsessing what you're doing when you're there, but if you miss a session because you've had a late day at work and you have one session off that week, forget about it, move forward, forget about that. You start again now and you go again. Because you know when you can sort of mentally, you miss a day and then it ruins the rest of your week.
Yeah.
That's the biggest issue.
It's like the same like the gym, don't they? It's like you miss a session and then a session goes to a month.
Yeah,
and then everyone's like,
yeah.
I'll just give up now because I haven't gone. It's like, well, there. Like, to be fair, that was me. I say that, but it was me. Like when I was coming out of the army, I kind of got to the point at the end where I was like, I've got a couple of months left in the army now, and I was like, I don't want to injure myself because if I injure myself in the army, I have to stay in. So I was kind of like, right, I'm going to stop training as much with them because then if I injure myself, then I can't leave the army. I was like, right, I've got all this set up now. So I was like, but then because I was kind of like purposely not doing army phys, which for anyone who's in the army is judging me right now. But but I didn't want to get myself stuck in because I knew that there was literally like one day between me leaving the army and coming into here, so I had everything to sort out, and I was like, well, I'm not going to get injured. But because I kind of let the army phys go, then I stopped going to the gym, and I started putting weight on. I was like, okay, right. So then when I come out, I was like, right, back in the gym now, and I have been back in the gym now for about 5-6 weeks, to be fair. So, but it's just so easy.
I've seen you in there.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Massive.
And this is why we're doing this podcast. You had a chat in the sauna, in the
hot tub.
In the hot tub, yeah.
So take a bit of a mad step into the incident that happened. That changed all of it, I guess.
Definitely changed my whole life.
Go out, you tell what happened then.
So obviously I come off a big win. I entered a prize fighter in last December. It was for £1,500, £1,500. 2 weeks before Christmas, I thought I'm jumping in that. I fought the best lads in the country. I fought a lad called Tobias, who was 34 wins, 3 losses boxing. And then I fought a lad called Liam Carey, who was 20-1. I mean, he was known as the best in the country, and I beat him with a concussion from the first fight. So I was steaming off that, and I got offered a pro contract in boxing. I had it in the gym, I had it all written out, just ready to sign that day. So I was, obviously with the pros, you have to go and show yourself that you're ready and fit to fight. So I was in the gym a lot, trying to get into shape, and so I looked the part, and I finished my gym session like normal. And as I'm walking out, I just collapsed. Only for a brief second. Woke up with people around me, and then I was sort of a bit wary like this. Walked into the reception at the gym. It's like a gym, not weight gym. Sat down, and then my heart just started going. Feel it coming out my chest. And it got quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. Colours started changing in the sky. Like the white started turning blue, the fucking red started turning green. I thought, what the fuck's going on here? And I think it's called a CVT attack, but I had like the worst you could have. So I'm sat there in this room thinking, I'm dying. I'm dead. I've got an a very partially trained gym member who's about our age. He was the only one on shift. So I'm sat there thinking, I'm having a heart attack.
And I've just got this one person here who doesn't really know anything.
He knows it, obviously under pressure. He's been trying stuff, but under pressure in that situation, I'm there. I think my heart went something like 230 beats a minute. Or 200. It went like ridiculous. It was going like... That's the speed. And it was coming out my chest. And I thought, I'm dead. It's simple. What's the point of the rest of this? All this stuff I've done, what's the fucking point? I'm dead. Like,
it's generally insane. Yeah. So how old are you as well? You were like 20, weren't you?
It was February last year, so about 12 months ago. So yeah, I was 21. No, 20, turning 21.
So what did they put it down to? Just you over the years of just hard work consistently, or was it just a freak accident?
I don't do drugs. I've never touched a drug in my life. I drink a little bit, but I might drink that much. I probably go out about once a month. Nothing major. They said it's just something with your. I think it's something to do with caffeine. That's why I can't drink caffeine anymore. That's decaf. It was something just about the way I was working, the heartbeat rhythm with the heartbeat of the caffeine met and hit one of the valves in my heart. Now I'm meant to have an operation, but obviously the waiting list is like years.
Yeah.
So I'm still waiting.
NHS isn't exactly great at the moment, is it?
No. So yeah, I've on a waiting list, but it's one of 3 valves in my heart. If it's 1 and 2, they can just sort it out. If it's 3, I'll have fucking heart surgery and stuff.
Bloody hell. Yeah, I remember obviously I haven't had that happen, but having ADHD, I had to go before I get medication that to like check my heart, and they said like you've got a leaking valve on your heart, and I don't live exactly the healthiest lifestyle in the world, if I'm being honest. But me getting told that was kind of a bit like, oh, okay, shit, this is actually. Well, so let alone that.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was at the time, fighting career's over. I'll be honest, and to be fair, I'm not too sure if I'm going to come back. The hunger's there to keep coming back, but then something small will happen and I can't do it, and it's sort of trying to mix the two in. When can I come? Because I need to come back at some point, but I don't know when I can.
Yeah. So, but that was a major negative in your life. There's no
at the time.
It's a major negative in your life. Everything that you kind of worked for, it kind of seemed like that was it. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But then obviously, your fight league came out, your promotion. So dive into that a bit at the start.
So obviously it happened, and I wouldn't say I was depressed. I didn't go into depression, but I was just like, what's the fucking point? Everything I did was, what's the point? Do you want to go on a run? Why? Do you want to do this? Why? That's where my mindset was. In the same sort of time, one of my closest friends from the childhood, she was going through terminal cancer, and she was getting told that she was about to beat it. Like she had like a 6-month lifespan, and it was getting told that she could live for a good few years now. In that same week, she died, and it was like, fuck. Like, I'm fucking crying about this. I'm still here. She's been in hospital for 6 months, and she's not here anymore.
Sorry to hear that, mate.
It's alright, mate. It's alright. I know. It was hard when it happened, man, because it was, childhood. It was like we used to go around have sleepovers every fucking week and stuff. But it was sort of, to me, I've wanted to go into promoting. The first show was a charity show. It was to pay for. Well, it was originally to pay for their gravestone, for them, because the families.
That's lovely. That is, man. That is.
Yeah, the family was a bit. I wouldn't say not off, but they haven't got the best money in the world. They can't really afford stuff like that. So that was the original plan. I was going to put a charity show on, all the money. I think in the end we raised like 1.4 grand for it. Yeah. A lot of people helped out on the way as well, helping us set it up. But I really fucking enjoyed doing it. Just the show, matching the fights, putting the show on, the pressure on the day. If anything goes wrong, it's on me. I really enjoyed doing the show. So originally it started off that. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to carry on with this. I enjoy it. And now we're really, really, really pushing on with the promoting. Like it's becoming fastly one of the best West in the country on a unlicensed side.
It looks great. I've obviously got friends who have fought on the cards, and just it's always on my social media and stuff. You're marking it correctly, and do you know what I mean? It looks like it's just going up. You've turned that major negative into a major positive.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? That's the best thing.
All linked in together. That happened at a certain time, and that happened, and then I did something for that because I couldn't do that anymore. And it all linked in. It's weird how the world works.
It is. I'm a massive believer on like things are meant to be. If something happens, there's certain things like
everything happens for a reason.
How all of this started, or what I'm doing now, is just literally bumped into Alex at a family thingy. I've been studying advertising. Alex had been working websites and graphic design and everything like that anyway, and we happened to bump into each other at a family event. It was like, oh, should we chat about it? Then the next day I started, and
I'm guessing it's at a point when you're leaving the army, you don't actually know what you want to do either.
Well, yeah, we've been building it for a couple of years in between, but I mean, it was just a complete fluke. Just going to that one event meant that now, a couple of years later, I'm sitting having a podcast with you. So it goes to show that sometimes you have to just, if you have a little, it doesn't matter what happened in your life, if you have a little something that comes, an opportunity, or a little vision or something, just go for it 100%.
Something negative always leads to a positive, I see now. That's why I see everything. When something negative happens in my life, it's going to set something up even better.
Definitely. So that was obviously your main inspiration for starting it.
Yeah.
You were helping raising money and everything. That's like turned into a great positive.
Yeah.
What was your inspiration for like the logo, the brand? Obviously, you got Bruiser Dilloway anyway from your kickboxing career. But where did the inspiration for the branding and the logos and that come from?
Originally, I wanted to start a fight league in like it's called JBD Fight League. So I wanted to start a league where you'd have like 8 fighters in the year and they'd all fight, but it's just too hard to run, pull-outs and stuff like that. It's impossible to run. JBD, that's Jack Bruiser Dilloway, that's what I'm known as. I've never been known as Jack Dilloway, or it's always been Jack Bruiser Dilloway. And JBD just sounded
good.
Sounded cool, yeah, it sounded good. So I thought I took JBD, and then I wanted to put Fight League originally for what it was, but obviously we're not going that path anymore. Because we are getting some of the best fighters in the country on the shows now. I think with the show, the main thing that people like is the atmosphere. Because you go to quite a few shows that haven't got the atmosphere, and it's nice and enclosed, it's packed, it's sold out, and everyone's there for a good time. Everyone's there for the drinks, the drama, fights, some good fights. All the fights are 50-50. Not always, you're not expecting the home lad to win every time. I mean, the last show, the away corner won 6 out of 12 fights. So it's 50-50. You can't get any more 50-50 than that. So you don't know what to expect. You don't know who's going to win. Even if you come to support your mate who's the biggest ticket seller in the world, he might not win.
Yeah. That's what makes it exciting, isn't it?
People like that, though. They don't want to come and watch you just...
Watching 12 people just get absolutely flattened.
And then,
you know, it's done straight away. End of the fight, go home. So when you were creating it, I'm guessing it weren't exactly easy. I know you said obviously you're going to the Fight League now, you're kind of making it to a bigger promotion, bigger fighters. So how hard is it to register it, get the venue, get the fighters? I'm sure the fighters and stuff were quite easy for you. You have the links there already, but what was the step-by-step to...
So to me, Tamworth's one of the best towns in the country for quality fighters. And people don't see it yet, but I've trained with a lot. From the top, from when I was, and there was 3 or 4 years below, all class. I've seen the vision of how good Tamworth is for a fighting club. The only problem is that they don't really get out and fight. There's a lot of good fighters that just don't get out. So my vision has been, obviously with the JBD Fight League, we're also a fighting team. Yeah. We've got a team, and we're out every week, and at the minute we're on some of the best shows in the country. We are on the big shows, in the big fights. So my vision was to get the name out of Tamworth, get everyone going. With the starting it, the fight, obviously with the fighters, it was easier to get the lads in who weren't fighting, and I was trying to get them out. It was very hard with everything else. Yeah. It's very hard because obviously I've been a fighter. I wasn't a promoter. I didn't think about wristbands, printing tickets out, getting a ref, getting medics, getting judges, getting a venue, you know, all the contracts that come with it, the security, there's fucking hundreds of things.
Oh yeah, I can imagine there's just so much behind it all.
And I want the best as well. The amount of chopping and changing you've got to do every show, because like that's not good enough, so we need to improve it. This isn't good enough, we need to improve it. It's good because you get constant improvement, but
it's good stress, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
Every time you do every time we do one of these, it gets slightly better. Probably every time you do a promotion, it gets even better and better.
Yeah.
More experience. That's probably a major part of it, isn't it?
Even the layout of the card and the venue. I mean, the first Tamworth show, we just put a fucking big metal barrier about this tall all the way around, and it looked so tacky. It looked tacky, and everyone was almost on the ring, and the people at the back couldn't see. But we seen that, and then we changed it. And on the last show, you know, we put seats out, we put ribbon things out, and it just sort of made it look more, made it look better,
made it look
improved it big time.
So where did you find your venue?
So the first show with the charity shows at the H Suite in Birmingham. That was just because it was closer to Walsall, because obviously my friends were from Walsall, who wanted to come and support the charity show. There was no real venues in Walsall that we could get, so we did it in the H Route, which was a bit closer. The pro club, my mum worked there, and we went up to him, and he sorted it all out with the insurance and stuff, and we just went from there. He was a friend of my mum's. And it turned out to be quite a really good venue for us, and you know, he's been loyal to us. He trusts us, we trust him. It just works well.
So, like, I'm sure there was a lot of dramas going into it. So, your first event, was there any major dramas, little dramas that you got and you was kind of stressing you out a bit, or did it go completely smoothly?
The charity show was okay because everyone was there to help. You know what I mean? I didn't take a single penny out of the profits. It was all charity, so everyone was happy to come and help. There was a little bit of drama at the end with a little bit of a scuffle with the main event, but it was nothing major. It was more the Tamworth show when I started going on my own, because you always have people that are trying to block you. Does that make sense? Like, they're trying to sabotage it.
Yeah.
And they'd put fighters on, and then we had some of them that would put a team of 5 fighters on, and then just pull them off.
Why would they do that?
Just to fuck
with you?
Yeah, we was having phone calls. The venue was getting phone calls. Somebody called up saying someone got stabbed on his last show. No one got fucking stabbed. Like, it's just gonna be. There was no drama. There was a tiny scuffle between 2 girls, and then everyone went home. And then people are calling up saying people have been stabbed, people have been this.
They surprised that little scuffle happened at a fight. Like, as in, I know after the fight, but I mean, it's a place, like you said.
It happens at every show. Like,
of course,
that's why you have security.
Exactly. Like, no one's ever sat down and watched like a full boxing event, and it's never been a little bit of drama.
Yeah.
UFC event. It's like it's never literally full of an event of fighting. It's good. People are going to kick off, or maybe someone in the crowd might get a bit too drunk and a bit too adrenaline from the fights, and these things do kick off. Yeah. Ringing up and saying purposely sabotaging, you're saying someone got stabbed is just jealousy, I reckon.
Yeah. No, if someone ever got stabbed at my show, I wouldn't put another one on. Simple as. It's just things like there's loads of, I can't think off the top of my head, but there's loads of things that people try and sabotage. That's the main problem with it. Some people, you have a lot of people like, I'll shout out Matt Kirby and Dave Galil. They've helped a lot with everything. Like, they've proper like put me on their path of how to work things and the best contacts and this and that. They are the main 2 people that really, when I come with a problem, they'll help it straight away. No issues, no problems. So
it's always good to have people like that, isn't it?
Yeah, they had their 10-year anniversary a couple of weeks ago. So they've been in the game for 10 years.
So when you were starting all of it, obviously you have to market yourself. Obviously, being a marketer, I did want to speak on it. So where did you, obviously you got your social medias, which in this day and age is just
priority, really.
It's insane how anyone can market themselves so easily now. Just post every day or getting some things done. So, for example, your t-shirts, your banners, your social media. Like, just run us through what you did to market yourselves.
We just sort of tried 10, 15 different brands of the logos and stuff. We changed it we already changed it 3 times, but we wanted to keep it. Obviously, we just like the colour purple. Yeah. That was just, it wasn't our favourite colour. It just looked good. We thought it looked the most professional. We've got them on the top, so we just try different logos and stuff. The main thing for us is we wanted to be transparent to people that come in to watch us. People think fighters are these big, scary, sort of walk around, blah, 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 blah. We do a lot of comedy stuff on our social medias of the lads to show the normal lads like they like to go and have a drink after a fight, and we'll have a good drink. They like to take the piss out of each other. With the TikTok, if you watch the TikTok, we just take the piss out of each other. Simple as, we just take the absolute mick out of each other. And I think that's the difference, because we've been able to show people's true personalities, which a lot of promotions haven't done that before. That's what I really wanted to push. So there's that side on the social media.
That's good. That is. Do you ever need any stuff done, graphic designs for banners and that? I mean, give us a shout.
The missus done it. She sorts all the other side. So I just match fights and watch them.
Doesn't sound too bad, to be fair. In some way, it's kind of hard, and obviously you'd rather have not had what happened to you.
Yeah.
But like we said, some things are kind of meant to be, and it's in some way you're thankful, maybe not thankful of what happened, but kind of thankful that you had something in your life that kind of made you go from you were a fighter to now you're a promoter, where you can actually make more money and stuff like this, because your road can be insane now. Like if you keep going in the trajectory that you are going, you can change your whole life. I don't know, obviously what you were doing before could have brought in good money, but promotion.
This is where I'm meant to be, the promoting side. And a team. I want a coach as well. That's been always what I wanted to do. Be a coach, be a promoter, build up fighters, put them on fights. I love fighting. I still want to fight, but I'm glad it happened, because if anything, as my dad always said to me, like, if you break your leg or something, you've got nothing to fall on. It was all or nothing on the fighting, and it was scary because something like that happened. I had nothing to fall on. I was a bum for fucking 4 months.
Well, I mean, you can't blame you, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, these type of things, like, you see it with footballers as well. Not every sports person can be a coach, but because of your personality and the years you've been in the game, and kind of having your dad, like, not pressure you, but like telling you, be disciplined and turn up to these fights or go to training, kind of made you into the person you are to become a coach. You can deal with people well, the promotion side of it, your personality works out well. So, I forgot what I was going to say now. Gone. What did you say? Talking about that, not everyone could be a coach. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like, obviously I'm only 22, but I've been in the game for so many years. I've been to so many shows, watched so many fights. Someone said to me the other day, you're like a young 45-year-old man that's been in the game for 20 years. Because I have been in the game for 20 years. But just because of my age, people don't think I'm that experienced. Yeah,
don't take your age seriously, but that's where the proof has to be in the pudding.
I feel like they've started to, though, because I think things work off results eventually, especially on with the pressure with the promoting. They come off wins and the shows you're getting on, the fights you're producing, the performance they're producing, the numbers you're getting into the gym, the amount of fighters you're actually getting out ready. And I feel like I'm starting to provide that. And hopefully the plan this year is to, as I've said to everyone, take over.
Yeah.
Take over the boxing scene.
So what have you got? So I know you've got one this. You haven't got one this weekend, have you? Have you got a fight this? You got a fight card on?
No, 13th of April.
Yeah, I'll be there for that 100%.
Yeah,
shout out Rio, fighting. Good luck, bro.
Rio. Title fight Rio's got now.
Is that what it is? Title fight.
It's a title fight Rio.
Best for training, boy.
I seen he was sparring the other day. I seen he was down sparring.
Love that. So, is there anyone you want to give shout outs to? We've ended quite early, to be fair, but is there anyone you want to give shout outs to? Let the people know what's going on. All your profiles and everything will be linked anyway. Yeah. So, if you want to let them know, the people on the camera, what's going on.
I want to thank everyone that's been part of the journey, really. You know all the everyone I've trained with, who've done rounds with me, and to my coaches that I've had through the years. It's all part of a journey, isn't it? It's all part of your own personal journey. The lads that took a risk with me, joining an unknown gym, and trusted me with the matching and the fighting. To Abby, that's been helping me with everything. She's, we've been working on it together. She's done a lot. She's learnt a lot as well. I wanted her to come down with us today, to be fair, but she's working. She had to take a shift. But yeah, everyone, I want to thank you for letting me on the podcast.
Thank you for coming on, mate. It's been good. It was a little bit shorter than I thought, but we've kind of gone through it, and it's been great to have you on, mate.
How long has it been?
About 40 minutes.
Oh, shit.
I
thought I was waffling too much.